Hey YouTube fam, it's Francina Simone and I am here with my BlackAThon Wrap Up. So it is brought to you by my desk because I have books and I don't feel like standing up and having to bend over and pick up books and stuff because bitch got shit to do today. So I am here to talk about the books that I read over at BlackAthon, some of my opinions on them, and throw in some new titles that I didn't necessarily get to, but you know, just throwing some awareness out there. The BlackAthon took place in February. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed myself. I love the discussions that we had over our group book. It was just such a fun time, and it was hosted by Jessie from Books and Bowties, and it was co-hosted by myself and Lauren from The Novel Lush. So check out their channels. I will leave the link below. I will even leave the actually in the card somewhere the BlackAthon announcement, just so you could see what books I had planned on reading and all of that jazz. So first I want to mention a book that I just got in the mail. It is Black Enough, and it is an anthology edited by E.B. Zaboy. She's one of my favorite authors. I read her American Street and I absolutely loved it. It's such a quick read, but it is so dense and so like on-site, poignant, and so if you haven't read E.B. Zaboy, jump on that. She also has another book out, Pride, and I believe a middle grade coming out soon, but this is an anthology that features other Black authors on being Black in America. And so one, can I say I love the oh my god. One, can I say I love the colors on this cover. It gives me a different world vibes. It gives me straight up like 80s. We got them color blocks that just look good on that melanin skin. I did not get this book during BlackAthon, so I have not read it yet, but it's got a ton of short stories that I'm actually really interested into getting into. And some authors that I haven't read yet, but I've been really interested in, like Renee Watson, Brandy Colbert, and a ton more. So go ahead and check it out, either at your local library or go buy yourself a copy. Some of the graphic novels that I read, because mostly I focused on graphic novels because I like them. I'm gonna mention them really quick, but if you want to know my opinions on them, I left them in a graphic novel wrap up earlier last month or so. This one is by my all-time favorite middle grade graphic novelist, and that is Svetlana Chomakova, and I love her books. She has 3 books in a series. The first one's Awkward, the second one is Brave, and this one is Crush. And this one follows a Latino boy that looked Afro-Latino, so I just went with that. I don't know if he is, he doesn't have to be. What I love about these books is that they are casually diverse, and when I say casual diversity, it means that race isn't the crux of the plot. Like, it's not the factor of the story, it's just part of the character. So I really love those kinds of stories, and she does that so well. There'd be diversity everywhere, and I'm just but I mention it and I give a review in my other ones, so check it out. 2 others that I really enjoyed was Afar, but I thought it was a little too short, and it's only one, it's like a standalone, and I thought it would have worked really well in multiple volumes. And Sleepless, which I love, and I pre-ordered the next copy. I cannot wait for it. And 2 that I had not read by the time I did my wrap up, and I am going to give these honorary mentions because the main character isn't a person of color, but I was very surprised by the diversity in them. First is Isola by Brendan Fletcher and Carl Kerschel. And this one, the main character, I believe she looks more like of Asian descent, but the woman with the tiger for her head, she is Black. It's a fantasy setting. I did not enjoy this one. I love the art on this. I'm not gonna lie, the art is gorgeous and beautiful, but I felt like the storyline just wasn't there for me. Like, in fact, I don't even remember why I don't like the storyline, and I don't really remember the storyline all that much. It just seemed like it was a very big world, but the writing didn't really pull it off for me or get me where it wanted me to go. Another one is Scoundrels. The main character is a white dragon woman. She might not identify with gender. I don't know if she's like non-binary or not, which would be cool. But something I did not notice because I did not pay attention at all to the cover in that much detail were the characters. She ends up joining a group of people, and 2 of them are people of color who are Black, and another woman who is a dwarf, and they go on this adventure to find like the dragon's treasure. And she happens to be a dragon. That's not spoilery because it happens in like the first one, and I think it's interesting, the story, but you know, again, like, I will pick up the second one, but depending on how much the second one delivers for me is whether or not I'll continue on with the series. I think it's good, but is it great? Okay, as far as novels go, I can't remember what I read. Hold on. I was able to get through 2 full-length novels this month, and one of them was The Poet X, which was our group book, which I absolutely loved. I've already regifted my copy to my sister-in-law who's into poetry, so I already gave it to her to read, and hopefully she really enjoys it. I kind of want my copy back though, but I digress. I actually listened to this book on audiobook, and I think that Elizabeth Acevedo does amazing jobs narrating. I thought it was amazing. It was so touching and gripping. So really quick review on it. I thought character-wise, Yamada and all of the other characters in the books were amazingly authentic, and I don't know how to like explain because I'm still kind of shook by how the narrative it was an epic poem. It was just an epic journey of this girl coming to terms with her sexuality, her ethnicity, her culture, her language. And by her language, I mean the way that she expressed herself with language. I just thought it was so beautifully done and amazing. And as far as plot goes, I thought it was very good. It was a contemporary. I don't know like how much I can say beyond the fact that it's about a girl who uses poetry to express herself in her world where her mom's very Catholic and not really into all that and just wants her to kind of live out the life that she wants to see for her. And Ziamada's like, you know what? I'm not a bad person, but I want to like explore some things on my own. And her mom sees that as kind of anti the behavior that she expects. And so it causes a lot of riff and oh, it was so heartbreaking. It was such a good like parental relationship, not as in it's good as in healthy, but it was a good depiction of one where there's a power struggle at bay and things go haywire all the time. There was a cute little romance in there, but it was not a romance by any means. It was a coming of age book. And then on top of that, the writing, phenomenal. It was all in verse, and I thought that was amazing. And what else do I do? World. It took place in New York. I don't remember specifically in New York. Maybe Brooklyn. I don't remember. But I thought that was done really well too because they were into parks. I felt like a city kid again, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. The next book that I read was This Is Kind of an Epic Love Story, and it's here. I did not enjoy this one as much. I thought it was going to be a rom-com, and it wasn't quite that. It was definitely a love story about 2 queer boys, and our main character, he does not believe in love stories. He doesn't like rom-coms. He doesn't think that love lasts because of his own personal familiar relationships at home. His mom is grieving the death of his father, who died so many years ago, and so he doesn't believe that love is worth the kind of pain that it can bring on when you lose somebody. And so his friend comes back into town from when they were younger. They were best friends, but they did not talk since he left. He comes back to town. They're teens now, and fireworks ensue. So I do love the casual diversity of the story because, again, this book wasn't about the fact that there were so many kids who were queer. It wasn't about the fact that the main love interest was even deaf or he was hard of hearing. So there's disabled rep, and it's all very casual. It's, in other words, the story's not about that. The story's about their love lives, but I did not quite enjoy the love and the drama that was going on with them. Mainly because it wasn't a rom-com and I was expecting a rom-com, that's all. Now I started quite a few books. I started Becoming by Michelle Obama, and I read like maybe halfway, I got like halfway through it. I was listening to it and it's over 18 hours long, and throughout the days other people wanted it and it was on hold, so I had to send it back to the library. But I loved what I got from Michelle Obama. She's like an amazing storyteller. It's just, it was very long and I didn't have that much time. I started some more N.K. Jemisin, but I think for mood-wise, I'm just not into what she's giving me at the moment, so I'm gonna have to wait until I'm in the mood for that type of fantasy, because it's very like, I don't want to say drab, it's just very like atmospherically not fun. And so I'm gonna wait and give that book another shot at another date and time. I did not get to Red Leopard, Black Panther, Red Leopard, Red Wolf, Red Wolf, Black Panther, Black Wolf, Black Leopard, Red Wolf. Something like that. I did not get to this book. The more that other people started reading it, the more I realized this was not a book for me. I totally thought it was going to be whimsical. It gave me those Mononoke Hime vibes. I was all like, Studio Ghibli, look at that cover. This is reminding me of when the gods came to Ashitaka's village and the god was a demon and he was like, no, I shall go save my people. I will travel to the east. Or I think he went to the west, to be honest. And he was like, I am going to stop this for my people. And I was like, I'm here for it. And then I looked at the book and I was like, it looks just like that. I mean, I'm not expecting Studio Ghibli in the book, but I am expecting some type of, I don't know, whimsical vibes. Like, I'm cool with the dark undertones, but I wanted the whimsy of fantasy. And based on what other people were reviewing it, I was like, I'm not quite sure this is for me. It seemed to be very, like, toxic in a lot of ways. Not that that's a bad thing, but just not what I was interested in. I tried reading through Pride, but it just wasn't gripping me with the love story as much as I wanted to, so I ended up moving on to something else. And that was kind of the rest of my Black History Month. But the stuff that I did read and I enjoyed, I loved it. So I hope that you guys check out some of these books. Don't forget to check out Black Enough. In fact, I got this cool little pin too, so I am totally... I'm not gonna hook it to myself, but you get what I'm doing here. Now guys, I will see you later. Leave some comments down below if you participated in Black-A-Thon, what you read. If you participated in the other readathons, what you read. In fact, if you read a book in February and you loved it, let me know down below, because maybe I'll like it too. And I love recommendations, even though I don't be reading stuff as fast as, you know, I possibly want to. I still like to listen to a recommendation and, you know, assort my TBR pile accordingly. So please leave that down below. I post videos Tuesdays at 2, Saturdays at 10. I will see you then. TTYL, so talk for now. Bye.